So today our topic is probability distribution. Second thing is that probability distribution is related to mainly probability theoretical distribution. So before we go to the probability distribution, let me first explain what is your random variables. Let me define what is your random variable. Now you see that we know from our previous knowledge that the results of a random experiments are objects which are not necessarily real numbers, right? Suppose you you toss a coin. What are the possibilities? Toss a coin twice. Your even space will be head head, head tail, tail head, head head, tail tail. So these are the actually objects. These are not real numbers. Maybe. So there are so many examples in probability and experiments where the objects, you will get the objects, results of the random experiment are objects but not real numbers. So it will not be easy to develop a mathematical theory dealing with these objects. Now it is possible to establish a correspondence between outcomes of a random experiment and a given set of real numbers by means of a mapping defined on the event space of the given random experiment as domain. And by such correspondence, it will be convenient to use algebra and analysis of real numbers in the development of the mathematical theory of probability. Right? With this motivation, we introduce the concept of random variable connected to the event space of any given random experiment. How? Let me explain. So you see, this is your event space omega, and this is your real numbers, set of real numbers R. So you define a mapping x from, this mapping is x from omega to R. So your event space, there is a correspondence between event space and the real number R. Suppose you are tossing two coins. So what are the, tossing a coin, okay. So your results will be head and tail. So head and tail. So you are associating the real number 1 with head. If you get a head, your x value will be 1, and if you get a tail, your x value will be 0. So in this way you can associate with the real numbers. So this x is called the random variable, or it's better to say a random function. So look at the definition now. Let E be a random experiment and omega be the corresponding event space as earlier we defined, and let curly f be the class of subsets of f, that is the sigma algebra forming the class of events of E, and R be the set of real numbers. A real valued function x defined on omega, that is x from omega to R, is called a random variable. That means whose domain is the event space and codomain is the real number, set of real numbers. So range will be is a subset of the real numbers, or sometimes it is called stochastic variable or a variate, if for any x belongs to R, the set omega belongs to, small omega belongs to the capital omega, that is the event space, and minus infinity less than x omega less than equal to x belongs to the sigma algebra. That is, this represents an event actually. This represents an event because small omega belongs to the capital omega. So these are all event points in the event space, and this represents an event connected to the random experiment. So what is the main concept is that there is a random variable is actually a random function, and that is from even space to the set of real numbers. Okay, and the range of the function x, that is the set of all real values which x takes up, is called the spectrum of the random variable. So what is the spectrum? What is the spectrum? Spectrum is the set of all real values which x takes up, is called the spectrum of the random variable. So in this case, what is your spectrum? Your spectrum is 1 0. Right? This is your spectrum. That is a range. So range is a subset of the real numbers. Now our random variable, so we can say that our random variable is not a variable but a function that maps the elements of omega to a real line, into the real line, right? Actually the term random function would have been perhaps more appropriate than random variable, but is seldom used in practice. It is random in the sense that once the outcome omega belongs to capital Omega, that is the event, is known, the real number x omega, the real number x omega is completely determined. So once you get the value omega, that is, once again let me draw the space, even space, and this is your set of real number. So once you get the omega belongs to this capital Omega, even space is known, then the corresponding value, real value corresponding to this omega, can be determined, completely determined. It is the outcome omega belongs to that is random and not the function x. It is the, this is actually random, not the function x is random. Okay, so this is the concept of the random variable. Let us have some example on that. And also it is possible to have more than one random variable associated with a given random experiment. Okay, so let us have some examples on that. Let E be a random experiment of rolling a die, and we define, so what are the possibilities, what are the omega? You are rolling a die, so it will be 1, objects are 1, 2, 3, etc., and 6 the possibilities are, right? Because die has 6 possible outcomes, right? So these are the omega. So, and this is a small omega, these are the omega is the events. So x1, let us define, we define the random variable. How will you define the random variable? X1 is 0, x2 is 1, again x3 is 0, x4 is 1, x5 is 0, x6 is 1. So that is x0 depends the even odd phase, and x equal to 1 denote the even phase, right? So what is probability of x equal to 0? Half, 3 by 6. And what is probability of x is equal to 1? Half, 3 by 6 also. 3 even point, 3 even numbers and 3 odd numbers, odd phases. So you have the probability corresponding to the random variable, right? Let us have another example. So suppose a coin can be tossed twice and let x be the number of heads. So here x denotes the number of heads. X is a random variable. X is a random variable. Once again, x from omega to r. And what is your omega? Omega is given by, what is your omega here? Head, 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 tail, tail, head, and tail, tail, right? And this is, there is a correspondence of real number. How? X be the number of heads. So in this case it corresponds to 2, it corresponds to 1, it corresponds to also 1, and okay, last one will be tail, tail. So the last one corresponds to 0, right? So last one corresponds to 0. So this is the real number, set of real values. So the spectrum in this case will be 0, 1, 2, right? So your spectrum is contains 3 points only, x 0, 1, 2. So look at that. Now you can write the probabilities. So what is probability of x equal to 0? So probability of x equal to 0 implies no head. No head. So it goes to the even point telltale. Small omega is telltale. So it is given by 1 by 4. The probability corresponding to x equal to 0. What is the probability x is equal to? What is the probability corresponding to x is equal to 1? So your random variable x equal to 1 implies one head. So the even points are head, tail, tail, head. So it will be 2 by 4. It will be half, right? And what is the probability corresponding to x equal to 2? X equal to 2 corresponds to 2 heads, and that is given by the even point probability of head, head, and that is given by 1 by 4. Okay, so now we can write like this the symbolic representation. Okay, these are the even points omega. So your even points is telltale, because I have used a new symbols here. So let us have some symbolic representation. Tail, head, head, tail, and the last one is telltale. These are the even space, and these are the even points. This constitute the even space, whole even space. And probability of omega, this one will be 1 by 4. This one will be half. Sorry. Yeah, this one will be 1/4. This is will be 1/4. And the last one will be 1/4. You see, the total will be 1. And if you write x omega, that is the random variable corresponding to this omega, that will be 0, because x is your number of heads. So you have to define the random variable, or maybe the random variable is defined in the problem. So first you have to define the random variable. So random variable corresponding to this event will be 0, because your correspond number of heads will be 0, because omega corresponds to telltale, and this one will be 1, 1, and this is 2, because it's a head, right? Okay, this is your head. So 1 by 4, and this is 2. So this is your random variable. Let us have the distribution now. How will you write the distribution? Small x denotes the random variable. Small x is a real number, belongs to this random variable. So what is your and x, these values are actually spectrum. Spectrum is denoted by x. So 0, 1, 2. Values of x are 0, 1, 2. These are real values. Small x is a real number. And probability of x equal to x is given by 1/4, half, and 1/4. Right? So this is how. And if you take the total of this, it will give you 1. This is called probability distribution. This is the concept of probability distribution. Your right hand side. Your right hand side is a probability distribution. How your probability is distributed. Okay. So these are the notations. So this side I have explained the random variable, and on the right hand side I have explained the probability distribution. Let us move to the next example. You can define the random variable in one problem. There will be many random variables you can define. Suppose it is a unit disk you are talking about, x square plus y square less than equal to 1, and omega is given by the even space, this space, unit disk. Okay, consider drawing a point at random from omega. So it will be your small omega will be order pair x comma y, because you are drawing a point from that space. Your space is the total unit disk. And some example of random variable are you can define x omega as small x, only the x values, that is the x coordinate, only the y values, and the sum of x z is a random variable defined on this event space x plus y. Also this distance formula w is another random variable you can define. So this way you can define the random variables in one problem. That depends on your definition. Okay, now let me explain some notations on that. So the notations are, what are the main notations here? So what is x equal to a? X is a random variable. What do you mean by a is a real number? Used to denote the event, actually this represents the event omega. Omega belongs to the event space capital Omega, and x omega is a. That is the meaning of that. Okay, so this is the representation. X equal to a means this is the event, denote this event, this is an event. Okay, and what is the meaning of a less than x less than equal to b? What is the meaning? It denotes the event, again it denotes the event, once again omega. Omega belongs to the event space omega, capital Omega, and a, your random variable x omega, lies between a to b. So this represents an event where a b obviously belongs to the real number and b greater than a. Okay, in this way you can define the things. It denotes the events. Another thing is that suppose minus infinity less than x less than equal to a, right? What do you mean by that? It denotes the event, once again omega. Omega belongs to the capital Omega, minus infinity x omega and less than equal to a, right? Where a belongs to the real number. A belongs to the real number. So in this way, and finally, what do you mean by minus infinity less than x less than equal to less than infinity? That represents the certain event. That represents the certain event. It represents the certain event. Certain event omega. Okay, so this is how your random variable, concept of random variable, different examples of random variable. Now next we define the distribution function. Already I gave you an idea about the distribution function here. In this example, look at that. This is your distribution function, actually how your probability is distributed. So that is the concept. Okay, so actually till now we have described events with the help of random variables. We now define the distribution function, or sometimes it is called cumulative distribution function. Another name is that, let me define, yeah, it's a distribution function of a random variable. Sometimes it is written as cumulative. Let me write here, cumulative distribution function. It is also known as cumulative distribution function, or in short form it can be written as CDF. CDF, cumulative distribution function. And this is defined as, let E be the random experiment and omega be the corresponding event space. Already we known these things. And let curly F be the class of subsets of omega, that is the sigma algebra, and capital R be the set of real numbers. And you know that the probability function is defined by P from F to R, curly F to R, that is the class of subsets of F to R, real number. It's a probability function. And x be a random variable defined on omega. Already we defined what is random variable. the distribution function of x with respect to the probability space, and you know that 3 tuple omega, the sigma algebra, and the probability function p is known as the probability space, is a function, is a real valued function f from r to 0 1, defined by fx equal to probability of minus infinity less than x less than equal to small x. Okay, so distribution function of x is a real valued function defined on real number, set of real numbers, and its codomain is the closed interval 0 comma 1. So it is evident that the range of the distribution function is a subset of 0 comma 1. Clear? This is the main important observation, that your range of the distribution function is a subset of the closed interval 0 comma 1. So this is how you will define the distribution function. And how will you get the distribution function? Already I gave you the idea about the distribution function, right? So let me now, today in our lecture also I will include the properties of important properties of distribution function, very important properties, and these proofs are also important. I will do some proofs for you. Let f be a distribution function of a random variable x, then f has the following properties. Number 1, for a comma b belongs to R and b greater than a, f of b minus f of a equal to probability of a less than x less than equal to b. This is number 1. So probability of a less than x less than equal to b is given by the distribution function fb minus fa. F is monotonic increasing non-decreasing function, or f is monotonic increasing or non-decreasing function, and f of minus infinity, this is number 2. Number 3 is f of minus infinity is 0 and f of infinity is 1. What is the meaning of that? That means that actually this f of minus infinity implies limit x goes to minus infinity fx equal to 0 and limit x goes to infinity equal to 1, fx equal to 1. That is the meaning of that actually. So don't make confuse on that, f of minus infinity, why f of, I will explain that. And but the meaning is that limit x goes to minus infinity fx is equal to 0 and limit x goes to infinity f of infinity fx x is equal to 1. Number 4, f is continuous on the right at all points, that is f of a plus 0 equal to f of a. You know that right continuity is given by this for all a belongs to R. Number 5, if for some a belongs to R, probability of x equal to a greater than 0, then f has a jump discontinuity on the left at x equal to a. Then f has a jump discontinuity on the left at x equal to a, the height of jump being equal to probability of x equal to a. The height of jump being equal to probability of x equal to a. So these are the important properties I will explain. So with the help of this definition of distribution function and the concept of random variable, these properties are there. These are very useful and important properties of distribution function. So let me explain one by one. First I will prove this one. That's what is the meaning of this concept, that is the property 1. What does it imply? So already it is given that AB belongs to R and B greater than A. Then the events, look at, so I am proving 1. It is 1. Then the events, if I talk about the events, minus infinity less than x less than equal to a, and a less than x less than b, you look at that, they are mutually exclusive. Can you follow that? These two events, minus infinity less than x less than equal to a and a less than x less than equal to b, these two are mutually exclusive, right? Okay, these are mutually exclusive because there is no common point, because here you have equal to with a, but here a is not included in the set, right? So these are mutually exclusive. So we can write minus infinity less than x less than equal to a union a less than x less than equal to b, that is equal to, we can write minus infinity less than x less than equal to b, right? Okay, now taking probabilities on both sides, probability of a union b, if you consider this is as a, this is as b, then probability of a union b will be probability of a plus probability of b, because these two events are mutually exclusive, so we can write equal to probability of minus infinity less than x less than equal to b, okay, because these two events are mutually exclusive. Now this implies this is nothing but your fa according to the definition of distribution function. Look at that once again. Let me show you the definition of distribution function. Fx is given by probability of minus infinity less than capital X. Capital X is the random variable and small x is the real value, less than equal to small x. So your distribution function is a function of real variable. So if a according to the definition plus probability of a less than x less than equal to b equal to f of b, right? So that equal to fb minus fa. Transposing, change of sides will give you probability of a less than x less than equal to b. So that is the proof. Look at that, you have to prove number one, so we proved that. It is proved. It's a very simple proof, the property 1. Okay, clear? Now let's move to the next one, number 2. F is monotonic increasing function. Monotonic increasing function. So we have to prove that. So let me prove number 2. You see, again if we write let a comma b belongs to R real numbers and b greater than a, okay, then we already proved from the previous result, from the previous property, already proved that f of b minus f of a equal to probability of a less than x less than equal to b. Okay, since probability is always a positive quantity, right? So probability of a less than x less than equal to b is always positive, greater or equal to 0, greater than or equal to 0. So we have this will be greater than 0, fb minus fa greater or equal to 0, sorry, this will be a, this will be a greater than 0, greater or equal to 0. So that implies f of b greater than or equal to f of a. Okay, for b greater than a, for b greater than a. So that proves that f is monotonic increasing function. That proves that f is monotonic increasing function, right? That proves that f is monotonic increasing function. So we've proved number 2 also. What is number 3? Number 3 is f of minus infinity equal to 0, that is limit x tends to minus infinity, f of x is equal to 0, and limit x goes to infinity, f of infinity equal to 1. So let me prove the number 3rd. Let me add one page here. So I will prove number 3 now. So let an denotes the event let an denotes the event, an denotes the event, suffix n, minus infinity less than x less than equal to minus n equal to 1, 2, 3, etc. Okay, so I'm denoting this event, I'm considering this event. This is the event minus infinity less than x less than minus n. So what is your sequence an? Then what is your sequence an? Is a contracting sequence of events, right? Then an is a contracting, you can easily check that, you know sequence of events such that if you take limit n goes to infinity, n equal to, it's a contracting sequence, it's a contraction is there. So if you take the n goes to infinity, it will be phi, right? Null set, the impossible event. Okay, clear? Now therefore let us see that. So I am considering this event minus infinity less than x less than minus n. This is nothing but your contracting sequence of event, and if you take the n goes to infinity, limit n goes to infinity, it will be phi, the impossible event. So what is the probability of limit n goes to infinity? I am taking probability on both sides, probability of phi. So probability of an impossible event is 0, and you know from the continuity of probability, this theorem was very important, I told you in the previous lecture. So you can get, this is a very important theorem from the continuity of probability, limit n tends to infinity, probability of an equal to 0. Since an is an, you can write here, n is an contracting sequence of events, n is contracting sequence of events, you have to mention. So you can prove that for contracting and for expanding also. So this equal to 0, and this n, what is your n? N is nothing but your minus infinity to minus n. Let us write that probability of minus infinity less than x less than equal to minus n equal to 0, and that equals to limit n goes to infinity. This is from the definition of distribution function f of minus n equal to 0, because n is this one. Again probability of minus infinity less than x less than equal to x is given by fx, the distribution function, real valued function, and this is, here you have f of minus n, and this equal to f of minus infinity if you write. So we proved that f of minus infinity is 0. Okay, next we'll prove for a contracting sequence, and we'll prove f of infinity equal to 0. So now let an, now set an as minus infinity less than x less than equal to n. So you look at that, this is expanding sequence of events, n equal to 1, 2, 3, etc. Okay, So you write here, then an is an expanding sequence events. So what is your an? Expanding sequence of events such that if you take limit n goes to infinity, an equal to omega. It's a expanding the certain event, right? In the in the in the contracting case you will get phi, in the expanding case you will get certain event. Okay, this is your certain event. So you take probability on both sides, limit n goes to infinity, an equal to probability of omega certain event. You know that probability of certain event is 1. Again you are applying the continuity of probability. So limit n goes to infinity, probability of an equal to 1. You write here, since it is an expanding, since an sequence an is expanding, okay, and this equal to, what is your an? Substitute that, your n is given by your assumption minus infinity to n. So probability of minus infinity less than x less than equal to n equal to 1, and that gives the, according to the definition of the probability distribution, limit n goes to infinity f of n equal to 1, and that implies f of infinity equal to 1. That is the proof we proved. Okay, so f of minus infinity is 0 and f of infinity is 1. Got it? So next we'll show, what next? Next is the fourth one. F is continuous on the right at all points. We have to prove that f is continuous on the right at all points. So let me show you. Fourth property, that is f is continuous on the right at all points. So look at the approach also. Let a be any arbitrary real number. Okay, so let a be any arbitrary real number. Okay, and we define, again we'll define a contracting sequence of events. Find a contracting sequence of events. We define a contracting sequence of events an by an equal to a less than x less than equal to a plus 1 by n. You can check that this is also contracting. You can define many ways the contracting sequence of event as well as the expanding sequence of events, right? Because already you have an idea of the sequences. So this is your contracting sequence of events. You look at that. If you take the sequences, it will contract, shrink. So clearly in this case, if you take limit, once again n goes to infinity, n equal to phi, the impossible event. Okay, now for each n, let me write, Now for each n equal to 1 to etc, n equal to 1 to etc, the events, what are the events? If you consider the events, minus infinity less than x less than equal to a, and a less than x less than equal to a plus 1 by n. If you are considering these two events, one of the events is minus infinity less than x less than equal to a, and another one, we have used these techniques earlier in the proof, and a less than x less than equal to a plus n. These two events are mutually exclusive, right? Are mutually exclusive. So my intention is always to take the mutually exclusive events to prove the requirement, right? So we can write this union less than equal to a union a less than x less than equal to a plus 1 by n equal to we can write minus infinity less than the random variable x less than equal to a plus 1 by n. Don't write small x in place of capital X. Capital X denotes the random variable, small x denotes the real values of the random variable. Okay, so if you take the probability, sorry, just wait. So if you write the probability of wait for few seconds, some technical issues with my laptop. Okay, so minus infinity, you are taking the probabilities plus probability of a less than x less than equal to a plus 1 by n, and that is equal to, because these are mutually exclusive, so you have the result on the left hand side, and right hand side you have minus infinity less than x less than equal to a plus 1 by n. Okay, now this is from the definition of distribution function. You can write f of a plus, this can be written as probability of a n, because this is defined as a n. We defined this actually in the first step. We define a n is given by this, so this is your a n, and your right hand side will be f of a plus 1 by n from the definition of the distribution function. So if you change the sides of f a, it can be written as f of a plus 1 by n minus f a. Okay, now take limit on both sides. Limit n goes to infinity, probability of a n equal to, this will be f of a plus 0 if you operate the limits on that, minus f a. Okay, so this will be a plus 0. So look at that, you can write this as, again using the continuity of probability, the important theorem for expanding and for contracting sequence of events. We can write this probability limit a n, limit n goes to infinity, probability of a n is equal to probability of limit n tends to infinity a n, that is equal to f of a minus a plus 0 minus f a, since a n is contracting sequence of event, and this is actually probability of phi impossible event because of the contraction, and this is your f of a plus 0, this remains the same. So finally this will be 0. So finally you are remain with, if this impossible probability of impossible event is 0 always, so finally you are arrived at f of a plus 0 equal to f of a. So that is the proof that f is continuous on the right at all points. So we prove that, and a is arbitrary because you have chosen arbitrary real number a. You have chosen arbitrary real number a, so it is it can be proved for any a. So f is continuous on the right at all points. Let us come to the last proof of our lecture today, and the fifth one. The fifth one is that let's go to the fifth one. What is the fifth one? Yeah, for some a belongs to R, probability of x equal to a greater than 0, then f has a jump discontinuity on the left at x equal to a, the height of jump being equal to probability x equal to a. So if your probability at x equal to a is greater than 0, it's a positive, then f has a jump discontinuity you have to show, and the height of the jump being equal to this probability. So let me prove that. That is the last proof of our today. So let us consider, let us define a contracting sequence of events. Contracting sequence of events an. How? By an equal to a minus 1 by n less than x less than equal to a, n equal to 1, 2, etc. Right? So this is how you will define, and this is a contracting sequence. Okay? Another contracting sequence. So now for each n, you see, once again I will my approach will be same, and you can easily get the result here also. So my approach for each n, the events minus infinity less than x less than equal to 1 a minus 1 by n, and a minus 1 by n less than x less than equal to a are mutually exclusive, right? Once again, are mutually exclusive. Just using the previous concept only, the same process of proving. So we can write directly. So this union of these two will be union of these two. Let me write. Therefore, minus infinity less than x less than equal to a minus 1 by n union a minus 1 by n less than x less than equal to a equal to minus infinity less than x less than equal to a. Okay? Now taking the probabilities on both sides. So these two are mutually exclusive, your left hand side. So this will be probability of this plus probability of the second one plus probability of a minus 1 by n less than x less than equal to a, and your right hand side is probability of minus infinity less than x less than equal to a. Now you apply the definition of distribution function, f of a minus 1 by n plus probability of, this is your contracting sequence actually, probability of a n. Look at that, you have defined the sequence like this, you have defined the sequence like this. Okay, so that is given by, and your right hand side will be again from the distribution function, it is given by f of a. So you change the sides, probability of a n is given by f of a minus f of a minus 1 by n. Now what next? You have to take the limit n goes to infinity, right, as usual. So limit n goes to infinity, probability of a n equal to limit, okay, let me write directly. If you operate the limit on the right hand side, it will be f a minus f a minus 0. Okay, now we can write your left hand side by using the same statement, that an is a contracting sequence of events, and using the continuity property of probability, this is given by f a minus f a minus 0. Okay, so and this limit n goes to infinity a n is given by probability of x equal to a equal to f a minus f a minus 0. Okay, so if f a minus 0 is not equal to f a and both exist finitely, then f has a jump discontinuity on the left hand x equal to a. You look at that from these results, you can explain that this is your jump discontinuity on the left at x equal to a, and the height of the jump is given by probability at x equal to a, if probability of x equal to a greater than 0. So that was the proof. That was the proof that this is given by this result. Okay, so we proved all the properties are proved in this, and the formula, let me add a note of that, some note. Lastly, I will put some note on that. FB, sorry, your FB, that is distribution function at B, minus FA, that is given by probability of A less than x less than equal to B, shows that, this shows that if the distribution function f is given, we can find the probability that x lies in any arbitrary interval. This proves that, this shows that, this results, actually we proved this result. This shows that if the distribution function f is given, we can find the probability that x lies in any interval, any arbitrary interval. That is, let me write the last line of my lecture today. That is, the distribution function completely determines the probability distribution. Let me write in short, probability distribution of the random variable x, of the random variable x. So that is my conclusion. The distribution function completely determines the probability distribution of the random variable x. So that's all for today. Thank you all of you. So please follow my next videos and next lecture also. I will describe more on distribution function, the discrete distribution, continuous distribution, the concept, the probability mass, etc. Okay, thank you all of you.